Welcome to the first Moonstone update for 2022. I'm ARCHBISHOP, the Managing Editor of Moonstone Publications. Here are the stories we covered in the first week of the new year. While many of us were taking a well-earned break in December, the FSCA was issuing communications that affect the financial services industry. The authority has once again extended the exemption on compliance officers' prescribed visits to FSP's business premises. The conditions attached to the previous exemptions remain in place, one of which is that compliance officers must communicate the exemption to FSPs. The FSCA also announced that it has pushed out publishing its documentation on cross-sectoral conduct of business return, or OMNI-CBR, until later this quarter. The OMNI-CBR will expand on the types of conduct indicators to be reported on by financial institutions. It reflects the FSCA's increasing focus on embedding an evidence-based and data-driven approach to regulation and supervision. The FSCA and the Prudential Authority also published a draft joint standard for public comment that sets out the minimum standards for sound practices and processes of cybersecurity for financial institutions. It seeks to ensure that financial institutions implement processes, tools, and technology that will prepare them for cyber attacks. The feedback will help the regulators determine the extent to which the requirements should be applied to certain financial institutions. The Chief Executive of 360 Global Solutions Group, Kandani Msibi, has sharply criticized the FSCA and the Prudential Authority after 360 Life was placed under provisional curatorship at the end of last year. The PA brought an ex parte application before the Gauteng High Court because the life insurer had not restored its business to financial soundness by the PA's deadline. Msibi said a plan to recapitalize the life insurer by selling SALT employee benefits had been torpedoed by the FSCA's so-called attack on SALT, which had frightened away banks and investors. Lastly, our columnist Paul Kruger provides perspective on some important recent events, including the death of Archbishop Desmond Tutu, the fire at Parliament, and the release of the ZONDO Commission report. The evidence gathered by the Commission over the past 3 years is now available for regulatory authorities to start compiling dossiers against the main culprits of state capture. That's all we have time for this week. You can read these stories on our website, moonstone.co.za. Until next time, here's wishing you all the best from the team at Moonstone Information Refinery.